We are going to become household names. But first, girl, we got to get your lighting setup together. Now, y'all have been on my head about this lighting setup. One of my friends even said it was giving AI, girl. So let's talk tips on how we're going to enhance your lighting setup based on my own breakdown. Now, I'm going to preface this video by saying you do not need a new camera. But for the purposes of me breaking down my setup, I'm currently shooting on a Sony a7 IV, and this is typically the camera that I use when I shoot in this area. We can talk about her another time, but just know she is great. Now, first things first, friend, you're either using too many lights or not enough lights. And what I've realized from personal experience is sometimes the answer is you're using too many lights. Y'all, I spent so much time and so many resources on lights because I always felt like my setup wasn't bright enough. And the crazy thing is, this lighting setup that I have right now is literally only 2 lights, y'all. I currently have an overhead light from the makeup light. This is their eye light. This one is at about a 45-degree angle towards my face. This is acting as what is called my key light, aka the brightest light source in my setup. And to the right of me, I have an LED panel that's sitting a little bit behind my hair. And this is called my hairline light. It basically gives my hair dimension so that it doesn't blend so much into the background. So in a sense, you can think of it as adding a little bit of contrast to my overall video. This is what my setting looks like without the hair light. As you can see, it's totally fine, but that light really does just add a bit of dimension to the entire video. So my hair light is a type of backlight, and I also just added a new backlight to my setup as well. Back there, you can see a little lamp on, and I added that there to add a little bit more dimension to my shot because as you can see from my other videos, there was just a big pitch black spot here. So now it looks very warm and cozy, and it doesn't look like I'm just in a cave. Another thing to consider when picking your lights and just setting up your setup is what temperature you want your lights to be. They can either lean very cool, which is going to give you more of a blue look, or they can either lean very warm, which is going to give you more of a yellow look. I personally like to find a middle ground in between both, and I basically keep all 3 of my lights in that middle ground setting. Also, one thing I do want to note, if you're somebody that wants to shoot on your camera and you have an external mic, ditch the vanity lights, y'all. I was noticing when I used my vanity light, there was a weird humming in all of my videos, and what I learned from my research is that there's a really cheap dimmer in the vanity lights that can be picked up on external mics. Also, after setting up my 2 light setup, I realized the vanity light was honestly excess anyway, but I will say if you are recording on your phone, this shouldn't be a problem. And with that being said, your vanity light can act as a key light, and then you can play around with where an LED panel would make sense in your setup. And y'all, that's honestly it. I do want to say though, it's taken me over a year to get my lighting set up in a place that I really like it. And listen, if you've been here for a minute, you've seen every variation of me experimenting with this setup. Honestly, y'all, the tea is there's so many different lighting setups that can work. There's honestly so many different lighting vocab words that we also could talk about. But honestly, I want you to look at this video as a resource versus something you should 100% abide by to the T. Because remember, there is not just one way to be creative, y'all. And there's not just one way to set up your camera and lighting. You gotta find what's best for you, friend. And honestly, I recommend showing us all variations of the experimentation until you get to that perfect sweet spot. Cause girl, we are over here trying to see the content. Anyway, friend, I do hope this was helpful, and I'll see you soon.